It's ding ding, two men in a ring. We put pride in your stride and a quiver in your liver. You want 'em, we've got 'em, coming to you. Loud and proud, he's the biggest, he's the baddest. It's Mr. Gavin Davis on the Gavin Davis Podcast Show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Gavin Davis Podcast featuring me and my co-host, Mr. Dave Brough. Tonight, we're going to be looking at the insight of competition. So what we're going to do, we're going to review a few fights, a few matches that I've had over the years, and Dave's going to chuck some questions at me, and we're just going to work our way through the topics, really. And I don't really know what's coming at me, so Dave's going to take the lead on the questions. So, Dave, I'll pass it over to you, mate.
Great. I don't know if you want to comment, Gav, just initially on, we had a couple of training sessions together this week, which I found really insightful, actually. Looking at, the fundamentals, mount escape, and then passing, Z control, and half guard techniques. I really, me and the guys at the club really felt the value in those. So we've been drilling those, and we're looking to develop them. So the next time we're on the mat together, hopefully we've made some improvements there.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, actually, Dave, to be fair, because so we trained Tuesday night and Wednesday night, didn't we? And yeah, we went through mount escapes, basic mount escapes on the Tuesday. Really good session, really good specific sparring in there as well. A lot of details given, a lot of details for you to take in there. But I was happy with what I was seeing. And then on Wednesday night we went through Z guard, like you said. We went through half guard, top passing, the half guard. So a lot of basics in there, but as I say, I was trying to make sure that you're getting the details that you need so that you can run forward with this back at the club and take it on with the lads. Cameron was doing well with it. Fred, I want Fred to start hitting a few more attacks. I spoke to Fred about that, not being so defensive. And you said, mate, just keep the good work going. I was really happy with the sessions. Yeah, really good work, mate. Really good work.
No, cheers. Feeling really positive about it, actually. I think I can see everyone developing, and I can feel myself developing as well. So, yeah, looking forward to making more progress.
Oh, definitely, mate. You're flying. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Excellent. Well, hopefully, we might see some of these techniques come up in a couple of the videos we're going to watch, Gav. Before we get to the first one, it's RAF Championships. And this is a particularly interesting video, Gav, because there's a big difference in size between you and your opponent. And in this type of contest, presumably they couldn't match your weight in this instance. So how do you, when you turn up to a competition, you're fighting somebody, what was the weight difference? 30, 40 kilos?
If it's the fight I'm thinking of last year against Scouse, it's got to be 30, 40 kilos. Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah.
So how does that affect your mental preparation, or how you think you're going to approach this contest?
Yeah, it does, really, to be fair, because I've known Scouse a number of years, and he knows my game. I know his game. We've trained a lot over the years together, and really, I've got to just put a pace on him. I can't let him settle in a position. If he gets like a side control and he settles, he gets his weight down, starts attacking stuff, Kimuras, key locks. It's going to be an absolute nightmare for me. So I just want to keep it all fast pace and very intense. I want to start getting him tired after 2.5 minutes of the roll.
If I get the video up here,
yeah, Gav, let's have a look at it, mate.
We can have a look.
Yeah, I think that's the one you're referring to. Yeah, it is. It's against Scouse. Yeah.
Okay, so
I've got that single leg. I've picked the single leg up here, and if I remember correctly, I've got his gi in my left hand, and I've got it under his knee, and I like using that Robert Drysdale was not really impressed with the gi stuff, with the lapel attacks. Now he was dissing it a little bit, but in this scenario here, I do like using it. I find it helps me being a smaller guy.
So how did you end up with the leg in that position?
So
Were
what
you-
I've done, yeah, I've come in and I've took his weight back the best I can, and I've just picked up the single leg, and then I've swapped my hands over with the lapel, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that the lapel is now in my left hand. But can you see how his foot? So what he's trying to do, he's trying to frame off with his right hand here, and then he's going to try and turn his knee back down to the floor to get his leg out.
Okay. So when this contest starts, this is a bigger guy. You're not thinking of pulling guard. You're attacking the legs.
Yeah, I will always try to see if I pull a guard, they're on top, being the bigger guy to
Right.
start. Yeah. So I will always try to get them busy in a wrestle to practically see where I am with them. If they start getting fatigued quite early, which a lot of big guys can do, then I'll just keep them busy. I'll keep them busy. I don't get too reckless. I don't shoot on wild takedowns. But if I think something's there, I will attack it. If I can't take them down and nothing's really working for me, then I will try and pull a guard. But I will always get the gi out first so that I can attack a Brabo and so that I can attack a worm guard and stuff like that. Because I find that slows them down passing my guard being a bigger man. Find it
Okay.
works really well for my game.
So your strategy is pretty much you are adapting your strategy to
Yeah,
the size of your opponent.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'll start playing this, Gav, and
Okay.
we can have look at what happens.
See, he doesn't feel threatened there,
Okay.
but yeah. See, I just used my speed to ankle pick him at the back. Right. Okay. So
So what? So yeah, what
this is
happened there?
This is interesting now. So we've gone off the mat, right? So what I want you to do now, just stop this video. Okay. Now you can go back if you want, but this is all strategy now, and this is experience as well. So when we went off the mat, my hands are in a certain position. So the referee needs to set us back in the same position. When he resets us back in the middle, I'm trying to get a better grip. I'm trying to get a better starting position. It's not cheating. It's called bending the rules. I'm trying to get the best thing for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
so when you
go on, mate.
so when you go back, so when the referee, I'll just play it forward a little, and
Yeah.
I'll stop it. So you're in this position here. Okay. So
Yeah.
the referee takes you back here. Now you're immediately trying to work an advantage. Okay. So yeah. So I
So
can
see,
see that your left hand's in a slightly different position there.
yeah, and he's trying it now. He's putting my hand back in the
Yes.
position it
Yeah.
was. So now
Yeah. Okay.
this is how good the refereeing is, mate.
So I'll just pause that there. So that's pretty. That referee has really been on the ball there, hasn't he?
Oh, mate, he's a black belt.
Yeah.
Alex is. He's a good mate of mine, and he's switched on. Yeah. Yeah, he's done well there. So I've passed the guard. Now look how low I'm staying. I know he's going to try and throw me over because he's so big and he's so strong. And I know I need to stay low. And all I'm trying to do here is trying to get him to work to fatigue him. Because I've already passed the guard. I've got 3 points. Well, I've got 5 points. 2 for the takedown, 3 for passing the guard. And he's trying to just get under me the best he can. And he's going to try and throw me over. Now he's going to try and regain. That's why I go the knee on belly. I don't score points there for knee on belly, I don't think. Well, maybe they're giving me the points now because I'm still there. I can't see what the ref's done there. Okay, but I should get 2 points for the knee on belly. And now I'm going to start working like a choke. But I know if I get my base wrong, he's just going to throw me. So I'm a bit hesitant here. See?
Okay.
Do you want to go back?
Yeah, I'll just stop it there. So when you've got the knee on belly,
Yeah.
What's your opponent thinking? What's their strategy? Because
They
are they just waiting for you to make that to overcommit so they can try and throw you?
yeah. So if I've got knee on belly or someone's got knee on belly on me, I will always try to escape the knee on belly. I got a couple of escapes I go to. However, what I find is the best time for me to go is when they're transitioning, when they're moving, because then they've come off the knee on belly, they're transitioning to something else. I can't allow them to get an underhook on the far side. Okay, because then they'll spin around for the armbar or the Kimura or whatever. Okay, so as long as I keep tight with the armpit on that opposite side, when they're transitioning is the time for me to go. So what we've done here, we've fallen when he's thrown me off him. I've gone into a
I'll just come back and look at that.
yeah. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to start working that variation of that gi choke that we worked on the other day, but I want my right hand in. Okay, my left hand's just holding me at the moment. So yeah, he's got under my hips. You see, now I'm just going to go on a leg. I'm going to attack the legs. So obviously at brown belt, you got knee bars, you got toe holds, you got everything in except for heel hooks. So I go for a knee bar here. Okay. So right now there's a problem. Okay. So what's happened is my left leg is underneath his groin. It's past the hip area. So once I got the leg to the armpit and the leg was straight, that's a legit knee. It's a knee bar. Okay. When Scouse took his leg out to defend it and the leg was the opposite side of my body, it's now classed as a reap. So realistically, if I'm reaping the knee, I should be disqualified. So what Alex is saying here, if I remember correctly, he's practically saying that the leg positioning of Gav was wrong after Scouse moved his leg. So he's just going to reset us from top.
Okay.
Okay, but I was legitimately going for a knee bar.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's more good refereeing, right? You know,
Yeah,
because that's a subtle thing. That's a subtle thing that
yeah,
I guess if a judge hasn't done this to a high level themselves, they're not going to know what they're looking at.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't think Scouse realized it at the time. I did once he moved his leg, and then I tried to get my leg out, but the leg's already in position. So Alex is just explaining. I think he gives me a penalty here. And then I'm just saying to him, I was trying to get my leg back out. So he just resets us, mate. The same again. Now, Scouse he's a lot bigger than me, so I'm just going to try and keep him busy. He's trying to sprawl his hips down. Yeah.
So he sprawled his hips down.
Yeah, he didn't get low enough.
Right, okay, so that's why you managed to push him back.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm pretty sure he had a hip operation a couple of months before this.
Right.
And I know he's got a lot of ongoing injuries, Scouse, you know what I mean? I've known him for a long time and that. So I don't know if that impeded him there with that sprawl, but he like half sprawled.
Okay.
So we're in the Z guard now where we were the other night, Dave. So he's going for a Kimura attack here, but I'm keeping my arm really tight to my body.
Okay. I'm just watching that.
See how tight my arm is to my body?
Yeah. I'm just watching what you do with your feet here, Gav, because
I'm more worried about the Kimura at the moment, mate.
right.
And now he's going to try and pull me right over.
Okay.
So,
And that
okay.
gives you the opportunity to pass.
Yeah, so what happened there? He allowed me to pass so he could do that to me.
Right, okay.
Do you want to go back a bit? He actually allowed me to pass. I thought I could get my hips lower at the same position at the start. See how my hips are slightly higher, and that allowed him to, even though I'm basing, now I just keep moving. I don't stop. I never settle. Because if he settles on me and I just keep going, I keep moving, and I'll put him back on his back. If I allowed him to get on top of me and get his weight down, I was in big trouble. I knew I was. Same position again. I think I passed this time with the windscreen wiper variation I was showing you the other night.
Yeah, I was looking for that. We can't see it from this angle, but there, yeah.
Oh no, no. Yeah.
Oh, we've gone for the armbar.
I gone for the armbar. Thought he was going to get out there. I lost the head, but then I was able to regain it. So I think that's his first match and his first competition match at brown belt.
Right.
And obviously I've been a brown belt quite a while then, but that match there is just me having to fight him that way. If I fight him any other way, right, and he gets on top and he starts breaking my guard and starts passing, it becomes an absolute nightmare. So for me, that is the type of strategy I would employ against someone like Scouse, who's bigger. Just nice and quick, keep everything moving.
Okay.
When I do pass, I don't rush my position. If I get a side control, I get nice and low because he's going to try and throw me. Yeah, so yeah, it's a good example of the type of match I would use against the type of strategy I'd use against a bigger guy.
Okay, so you mentioned leg locks and knee bars. Are they introduced at brown belt?
Yeah, knee
Okay,
bars, toe holds.
so you don't practice these. Do you practice these at earlier belts, or do you just start developing those once you get to brown belt?
Oh, good question. Depends what club you go to. You should be practicing and having understanding of them. Definitely by blue belt, I think. Maybe white belt, but definitely at blue belt. If you come through the door as a brand new beginner white belt, I wouldn't expect people to be doing knee bars and heel hooks and toe holds on the first day. But if you're a 3-4 stripe white belt and you've been training a couple of years, I would expect you to have done them or covered them. By the time you get to blue belt, you definitely need to understand what's going on with the leg locks. So by the time you get to purple and brown, and because if you do naggers and ADCCs and stuff like that, they do heel hooks as well. Certain competitions do. So you need to understand them. You need to know how to defend them.
So why are they only introduced at brown belt in competition then?
I think it's a safety element. I think because if you look at injuries with toe holds, knee bars, obviously if you have any injury to your knee, it's normally catastrophic. Heel hooks, stuff like that. I think it's classed as a high risk joint. And years ago, like Robert Drysdale was saying, that if you got heel hooked years ago, you couldn't have a 6-month layoff and have an operation. You were crippled. So I think it's still for safety. But the more experienced practitioners at a higher belt, that's where they bring them in.
Okay, I want to look at another video, Gav.
Yeah.
Before I get this video up, I wonder if you could tell us about how you warm up for a contest. Do you have a physical and a mental routine you go through?
Yeah, I do actually. I've done a little bit of everything, mate, to be fair. I've done matches where I haven't had warm-ups, and I've done matches where I've had really heavy warm-ups. But what I've done the last probably, let's say 6-7 years, I've got like 2 warm-ups that I do. So I do a warm-up if I've got mats, and I've got a warm-up in my head if I haven't got mats. Okay. So if I've got mats, I'll do probably like a 10-15 minute, very light. So it starts off with like mobilization moves, like neck, shoulder rolls, stuff like that. And then I'll build into bringing my heart rate up with squats, lunges. Then I'll go down shrimping, stuff like that. And then what I'll do, once I get to the end of it, if I'm still waiting to go on, I'll start the cycle again to keep my heart rate up and to keep warm. If I haven't got mats, I'll do more things like a little bit of like running on the spot, star jumps, lunges again, squats. But I just won't do the shrimping element of it because I can't get down on the floor. So yeah, I do 2 set routines, and then if I'm in a cold environment, I have multiple layers on, and as I get warmer, I take a layer off, and then I'll have like hoodies over my gi or my no gi, and then before I go on, then I'll take like my last layer off, quick drink, and then on I go. So yeah, I got my own couple of routines.
And what about your mental preparation? And particularly, so the next contest we're going to watch is a final.
Right.
Do you approach a final differently?
If I've watched their fights beforehand and I know that they're good at certain things, possibly I would say yes. Overall, I just stick to what I'm good at. As long as I'm warm and I'm ready to go, I'll always try to win them first couple of points. I always like winning them first couple of points. Okay, I don't like getting behind on points. So I always try and get the takedown. If I can't get the takedown, I will pull a guard. But you're looking a minute and a half into a match before I'll start thinking of pulling a guard, which is quite a long time, really. I have had to do it a couple of times. So I've had to pull a guard. I fought a lad called Achilles Bolan in the British Gi final, no semi-final, long time ago now, and he had a really good background in wrestling. I could not take him down. So I pulled a guard, and then I ended up getting a sweep on him later in the match. So it worked for me in that scenario. But mental, no, I just look forward to it, mate. I look forward to getting on the mats. I don't really get much pressure on my shoulders or anything, or nervous. I just get warmed up, and I'm like, the big thing for me is that I don't like waiting to go on. So let's say I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll arrive at 9. I'll weigh in. I'll have a banana. I'll have some water. I'll go and get changed, 22. I'll get there for 1:45. Depending on how they do the weigh, some will weigh in a bit before, some will weigh in just before you go on. Then depending on the comp, I'll weigh in again if it's IBJJF. And then I'll start obviously warming up for like 15 minutes then before I go on. And then I fight, I do my matches, I go home. I watch a couple of fights and then I go home. If I'm waiting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, I hate that. Absolutely hate it. So yeah, I like everything being like quite smooth with the process.
Just to pick up on one of the things you said there, you go a minute and a half before you consider pulling guard. Is pulling guard considered to be a lesser tactic than taking down?
Not really, mate. It depends on your game. You'll get some lads that'll pull guard straight away, and then it becomes a nightmare for you because you're in their guard. It's a great strategy to employ. It's just that I prefer to get on top. And if I can split that guard, then I feel like, oh, I'm going to pass the guard. I can now work this. I can work that. Whereas I feel if I'm on the bottom, now I've got to sweep them. Whereas if they start splitting my guard, then it can become a problem if lads are really good. Really can. So I just like getting top position.
I'm going to start this clip, Gav.
Okay.
So this is the English Open final.
Yeah.
It's a no-gi contest. What do you prefer? Do you prefer fighting in a gi, or do you prefer fighting without a gi?
I think I prefer the no-gi, to be honest with you. So since I've been at South Morton, I've been doing a lot of gi. And the other Wednesday I was there and it was no gi. So I found I was hitting a lot more stuff on a lot bigger guys no gi. Because I find that they can't get the grips the same and they can't slow you down the same. So I found my game was working really well with a lot bigger guys, whereas I struggle with them more in the gi. So I like the no gi, mate. Really do.
Right, I'm just going to start this clip.
Ollie Geddes is reffing this one. One of
Okay.
Hodge's black belts. Very, very good. So what I like doing, I like trying to get a feel for people. I don't know this lad. He's had a couple of fights. I've had a couple of matches beforehand. I think Paddy was at this one, if I remember correctly.
So what are you looking for here? Oh, he's
Yeah,
gone for
yeah.
a cool
You,
solo.
yeah. I'm looking for like a control on the arm for like an arm drag to set up an arm drag, and I just want to see his reaction to stuff. And I notice he's coming high with that left. See that left collar tie he's using. And oh yeah, that's how I use the entry to take the back. Okay, nice takedown there. Straight on the back now. Yeah. So yeah, he goes for like an ankle lock. So when you put your feet on the inside, that's why I've gone body triangle now,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
But when my feet are on the inside, and my hooks are
I'll just come back to that.
yeah, just come back to it. When my hooks go on the inside, I get my two hooks in. I
There.
get four points for the back take with the hooks in. You've got to have your hooks in to get your points, you see. Right? So when I put my feet on the inside, he goes for like he was hoping I was going to cross my feet and he was going to go for an ankle lock. There's a counter ankle lock there.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He might have had that, but he didn't. I guess
Yeah.
he's only got one ankle
No,
there.
now I go body triangle. I don't use the body triangle very often because of the length of my legs. He knew. See, stop there, Dave. He knows what he's doing because the way to stop the body triangle or to start escaping the body triangle is to get my feet on the floor. Can you see that?
Yeah.
If he goes the other side, the body triangle's much worse. So this is his way of escaping them. So he's quite knowledgeable, mate. You know what I mean? He knows what he wants. The problem he's got now, he's 6 points down already. You know what I was saying about getting them points on the board?
So are you expecting when you're in this position, are you expecting to finish the contest?
Yeah. I'm always trying to finish everyone, mate. See, I've got that left grip. See, now I'm starting to get confident now because I know I'm 6 points up. And I've got a good feel of him now already. So he does well. He was really durable. I gone De La Riva guard here. Okay, just go back there, Dave. Did you notice what I did there?
Let's watch this again from here.
Yeah. What did I do there?
I'm not sure, Gav. I'm
Go
just going
back.
to watch it again. I'll give
Yeah.
myself a bit longer to see it.
Look at my face. So I come up. He does well here. He stops me getting the second hook in, and then I come down to the bottom. But by this stage now, I'm going to say I'm 6 points up. I know I am now. But what do I do here? Look at my face when I go De La Riva here.
I don't know. What did you do?
I looked at the scoreboard to see what the
Right.
ref
Okay.
what the ref would give the points. So I know now I'm 6-0 up. Okay? Because sometimes you don't know how they score things. I could think I was 6 up and I could be 2 up. He might not give me the points because I took my legs out for the body triangle. Okay, go back, Dave. So I always try to see the underhook, the right arm, and I got a toe pick at the back. Did you see
Okay.
that?
Yep.
Right. Now, same again. He's given me 2 points to the sweep because I come from bottom to top. And now I need to get my left leg in to get the 4 points for the back take. He knows this now. There it is. Left foot's now in. Flatten him out. And the ref's giving me 4 points there. Again, he's put his hand up, 4 points. So I am trying to finish this, but to be fair, he's really durable and he's just making it hard work for me. So I got another 6 points there. I'm going to go for the arm triangle, I think. Oh, no. Oh, I'm going to go for the belly down arm bar. He rolls out. Regain a guard. So I go Z guard here. Now I'm going to go for that Kimura. Yeah, there's a lot going on here now. Back to the arm bar. I got to make sure I keep a guard though. So I've gone back Z guard now. Now what I've done now, just stop there, Dave. So the last 30 seconds was quite scrambly there, wasn't it? There was a lot going on.
Yeah, I saw that when he passed your guard, you did exactly the same move that Scouse did to you in the fight before. It
But
allowed you to flip him over.
Yeah, but I did it with a Kimura grip. I didn't do it with strength.
Right.
Okay. So I actually had the Kimura grip in there. What I've done now, I know I'm 12-0 up. So he needs a lot of points or he needs a submission to win. So what I've done, I've just locked my legs, knowing there's no heel hooks involved. I've locked my legs off here and I'm just going to have a couple of seconds to just slow everything down a little bit. Just get a bit of composure because the last 30 seconds have been a bit hectic. Do you want to go back and review that Kimura sweep?
Let's have a look at that, yeah. Is that back far enough?
No, go back a bit more. Go there. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. To be fair, after this match, I was a little bit disappointed I didn't sub him, but you can't sub everyone. It's difficult to sub everyone. And as I say, he did really well in the scrambles. So I go for the armbar. Gets out. I didn't quite get the leg where I wanted it there. Yeah, he doesn't get points for passing there, Dave, because he hasn't maintained it for 3 seconds. And I've recovered my guard. So he's the Kimura, look.
Okay,
Kimura
yeah.
grip.
Yep.
Yeah, he has to go with that.
Yep.
I go back for the armbar. Okay, so I just lock the legs off here. This is what I just spoke about. Just slow everything down. Let him try and pass. Keep a solid frame. I know I'm well ahead on points. I don't need to do anything extravagant now. However, I do want to finish the fight. So, can't remember what comes after this, but let's have a look. See, that underhook again with the left arm, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah.
So in this
yeah, go on.
In this position where you have that underhook, is he better coming out of that, kind of disengaging and going back?
Depends on his positioning with disengaging. He needs to, like, if I start coming up here now, he's going to have to put a whizzer in. And he's already put his whizzer in. Can you see his right arm? He's put his whizzer in. Because if not, I take his back. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get the foot for the old school sweep. And I'm going to come up on the elbow. Interesting. Stop there, Dave. Go back, mate. So what he did there, which is really, I forgot he did that. So, yeah, he needed to get his underhook in here. But he got a whizzer in. Now, the whizzer stops me taking the back. He took the whizzer out when I got to my knees. Watch his right arm. Comes out now. He rather me take his back and defend the back than me sweep him and put him on his back. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why. 2 points for me to sweep him, 4 points for me to take his back and then potentially choke him. I think maybe he knows I've had his back twice already and he's confident that he can get out of it. I don't know.
But just to, if I raise a point here about, I wonder what his strategy is now, because if he is many points down now.
Yeah.
So he has to get himself into a position for a submission. Did you feel he was just moving at this stage to prevent you getting more points, or was he actually being attacking?
That's a good question. I don't think it got to the stage where the points didn't matter. So he needs now to sub me. There's 30 seconds. Well, there's not even 30 seconds left of the match. He needs to get a submission. I don't really know what he was thinking in that scenario. I'd love to ask him. Really don't know, Dave. Really don't know. But he needs a sub. He needs to finish me with a sub. I didn't feel he was going to sub me if he'd have been there all night on that last 4.5 minutes. I've dominated that round. I've swept him multiple times. Even when I've gone to my back, I've gone to my back because it suited me, and then I've come up and got the sweep or took the back from it. Just for me, it was just disappointing not to be able to finish it with a sub, because I do like finishing everything with a sub. But he was durable and he understood how to get out of bad spots, which sometimes that's all you need to do in them scenarios. That's the end of the round. Yeah, that's the timer. So yeah, I don't really know what he was thinking to answer that question, being honest, Dave.
So looking at this contest, so in this contest you were pretty dominant, although he was durable, as you say.
Yeah.
What would you have done differently, do you think? If anything?
That's another real good question, that is. On that match, what would I have done differently? I'd have probably slowed down a little bit on the back. So the first time I took the back, he tried that ankle lock, didn't he? And then I went body triangle and then ended up coming off, got the sweep, come back up on top, got the back again. The second time and the third time, that last time I got the back there, I come off the back to attack the arm bars and then I ended up getting that Kimura sweep after. I probably would have stayed with the back and not come off for that arm bar, because he defended that arm bar fairly well. He scrambled out of it. So I probably would have been more patient with the back and probably not as forceful and been a bit more technical, which, to be fair, as you get up through the grades, I would like to think more now I've worked on that part of my game, being a bit more patient when I need to be. But that's the only thing I can really think of. That's an excellent dominating match, really, for me.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what, like, from his perspective, so that when he had that wizard and he gave it up,
yeah,
to give you the back, do you think, and I know like the points didn't matter at this stage, but is he giving you his back at this point because he's defended it twice already and he feels he can?
Possibly. Yeah, he probably felt better doing that than me sweeping him and putting him on his back, because I had that I like that old school setup sweep where I didn't have the foot on that one, but I would have come up, I'd have pulled the knee in and I'd have turned the corner and put him on his back. So he probably just felt more comfortable doing that. It's totally the wrong thing to do. It's totally the wrong thing to do, because I could have potentially finished him with the back. Whereas if he'd have just given up the sweep, he'd have given up the 2 points. and then he could have
Yeah.
worked from like a half guard.
Can I talk to you about sweeps, Gav, and the
Yeah.
point scoring with sweeps? So when you're going through this contest and you're moving them around, are you calculating? It's are you are you trying to get to a submission, or are you working out? Yep, 2 points for this, 3 points for that. Work calculating that your advantage all the time, or are you just getting maneuvering? You're not thinking about that. You're getting into a position where you're going to sub them.
A bit of both, really, mate. I think when you get quite experienced at having matches and that, or even having roles in the gym, you can do it having roles in the gym as well. You don't want to get too fixated on points. You don't want to. However, you've got to have an understanding at the end of the 5 minutes that what went on in them 5 minutes. And for example, let's say me and you are rolling, and at the end of the 5 minutes, we touch knuckles, and I go, 2 points. I got that sweep on you there, Dave. Do you know what I mean? And you go, yeah, it was a good sweep, that. So you know that I slightly had the advantage. In a lot of matches there, like I just showed you, I like to look up and just have a quick glance at the scoreboard to see how the referees interpreted everything. Because I've been in matches and refs, I've scored stuff and I haven't had it. And then I've been in other matches where I've looked at the scoreboard and I thought to myself, where's that score come from? I had it in the Worlds in California. The referee actually got the score mixed up. So I just like having a look at the scoreboard if I'm a little unsure of how a ref would have scored it. Just so then I know that, yeah, I've got so many points on the board now. And then I'm always going to try and hunt the sub. I'm always going to try and go for the sub. If you're on the mats and you're rolling and you're not trying to sub someone, if you're going on and you're not going to go on to try and sub someone, okay, then really you need to have a think about your mindset. Okay, I really, I used to speak to Daryl and Steve and all the lads about this. We used to go to comps and see people go on the mats and they'd be like getting a takedown and they'd stall out for 4.5 minutes and they'd be happy winning by 2 points. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've just won there by about 16, 18 points and I'm disappointed I didn't sub him. Do you know what I mean? You always want to go on with the intention of subbing someone. If you can't sub them, then the next stage is beating them on points.
So when you a part of that contest, you looked up at the scoreboard to see what the referees were, how they were interpreting your moves. Presumably, then you can be influenced. How you fight can be influenced by the referee. So if you have gone for these sweeps and they've been missed, or things you've tried, or points you think you should have scored and the referee hasn't got them, I mean that will change how you continue to fight, right? Because you're
Yeah,
not going to continue to do things that the referee's not going to score.
yeah. And another point with that is as well is that, let's say the last 30 seconds, I'm 1 point up. If I'm 20 points up, I'm going to keep trying to get the sub, right? If I'm 1 point up, I'm going to go more defensive and slow everything down so that that person against me doesn't score. I'm going to stall it out so that my opponent doesn't get the guard pass or doesn't get whatever he or she needs to beat me. So I'm gonna stall that out. So that's a very interesting point. That, you know what I mean? I'm not going to open up and start attacking stuff if I'm in a big comp and I'm 1 point up. I'm just going to stall out the last 30 seconds. If it hasn't really worked my attacks for 4.5 minutes, so why is it going to work for the next 30 seconds? What you do, you take the win by 1 point, you wipe the slate clean, and then you move on to the next match, and then you sub them. You go in with a mindset you're going to sub them.
Very interesting. Well, I think that's been really insightful, Gav. Actually,
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from you taking us through those two contests. Yeah, and I think a lot of people developing their jiu-jitsu will be interested to see how you approach these competitions, and also your fight IQ going through a contest is interesting. How the fight's developing, how the judges are scoring things, and how you're going to keep developing as the fight progresses.
Yeah.
It's really insightful.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Dave. As I say, I haven't seen that second video for a long time, so it was quite nice to look back, and it was interesting that I picked up on a couple of them points there actually, because I totally forgot about them. So, is there anything, Dave, you want to touch on before we finish, mate?
No, just to say thanks very much, Gav. Really enjoyed that.
Okay, mate. What I want to do, I just want to put out there to the viewers that have a look at our sponsors, give the sponsors a follow, utilize them for their businesses. Absolutely some fantastic businesses we got sponsoring us. Have a look. Follow us on Instagram. Give us a subscribe on YouTube if you like the content, and keep sharing out the content, everyone. So thanks, Dave. Thanks for tonight. It's been excellent. And viewers, we will catch you next week with another podcast. Good night.
Cheers. Good night.
There's a brand new podcast on the scene talking all things martial arts. If you've never seen a podcast, it's a brilliant place to start. So like, subscribe or download to the best thing on the net. Yes, he really is that tiny. Please do not adjust your set. You can watch it on your telly. You can listen on the go. Tell all your friends and family. Tell everyone you know. Feel free to leave a comment. Tune in, give us a share. The only host that I know gets his keys from Build-A-Bear. The Gavin Davis Podcast. The Gavin Davis Podcast. Jump on board, we'll have a real blast on the Gavin Davis Podcast. A captivating podcast streaming straight into your house. He's a little pocket rocket. He's the Welshman's mighty mouse. Great guests and conversations that won't bore you to tears. Thank God he's wearing headphones to hide those grapplers' ears.